What up, Dokkaners? Part 2 of the version Z update, or should I say phase 2 of the version Z update, is set to drop on JP in the next couple of days, in the next month on Global. So let's talk about this, because these are some pretty cool updates that we have desperately needed. Well, some of them more particularly, but we'll talk about all of them, because there are 4 key points that I want to talk about in this video, and I want to make it quick, because I am in the middle of the World Tournament, and the longer that I talk, the more likely I do something stupid in my World Tournament and ruin my win streak. So let's jump in. 5.2.0 is the name of the update. We have 4 key components here. Added a button in the training section that will allow you to automatically set training items and locations to max characters. So this one is basically just to streamline the training process for those of you who might find this to be a bit tedious or annoying. Basically, you could auto the units, you could auto the training items, but you could never do them all at once. This new button will allow you to do all 3 at the same time, that third one including the training location. So this just makes it all faster. The only thing that I can take away from this, which, you know, it could be photoshopped, it could be just made this way for simplicity's sake, but when I see this, there are a couple of things that concern me. Number one, it appears that their primary goal here is to optimize your training while minimizing the amount of resources used. So I think how many Cybermen, I mean, they've also changed how many units you can stack here. Like, let's say you have like 90 plus copies of a particular character. I think you can bring them all here, because as you can see, it shows like 14 out of 102. I think that's what it says, or maybe 1,000, I don't know. You can bring on more than just the 5, which is nice. But what's concerning is that the training location is the hyperbolic time chamber. Now, visually, this would make sense because training hyperbolic time chamber makes sense. But if we actually look at that location in the game, the hyperbolic time chamber, people, is the most valuable and most potent training location in the game. It is so powerful, in fact, that it is rarely given to us outside of marquee celebrations or, you know, limited events or things of that nature. So these don't come around all that much. Now, the fact that it is using that to awaken or train a unit, for me personally, is annoying, because I like to save those for LRs, just to make the LR training sessions a lot easier. But then again, if this whole thing has now been streamlined, I wouldn't have to push any buttons. It would automatically take care of it for me, regardless of location. So I suppose it's a matter of preference. As far as I go personally, I probably wouldn't use this if it actually means what I think it means. But this is just an image. We have to wait and see how the update actually functions on JP before we can really formulate any sort of opinion. But, you know, just based on the image, I had to give my thoughts. So that's what the training session will be like moving forward. I assume a lot of you guys will probably enjoy this and get a lot of mileage out of it, because this removes the hassle of actually having to do anything in terms of picking up your items, your training partners, and all that. It all gets taken care of for you. Now, going back here, added a button for the Extreme Z Awakening of characters all at once. This is a big one, people, because this one means you no longer have to deal with the headache of awakening a unit, then going to train the unit, then going back to awaken the unit, training the unit, vice versa, so on and so forth. You just keep on going. It seems, I mean, it's a 7-part step, but it actually feels more like 15 parts, because it effectively doubles what you're doing and then adding a couple prompts here and there to go back and forth. So it just seems like it's more annoying than it actually is helpful. Ultimately, you have to do it because the EZAs these days are insane. So let's make it easier. What they're doing now is you can do it all in one lump sum by pushing this button down here. It takes you to this screen where it shows you all the medals that you need, and it also shows you the unit that I think you're throwing in there. And then when you awaken it, it would obviously come out with 140 and fully maxed out, right? Actually, I don't know how it would be once you fully Extreme Z Awaken it this way. Would it actually end up being a level 140? We'll have to wait and see. Again, another thing that JP will have to discover, that Global can wait to find out. But this is a big one, because this one was very tedious, very annoying, and this is one of those times where streamlining Dokkan definitely is an all-out win, because Extreme Z Awakening, the process should not be an annoying one that just gets you lost in the sauce. It should be easy. I want it easy, I want it fast, I want it now. All right, let's move on. Second 2 parts of the update. Added a rematch button at the end of a stage. If you guys have been link level grinding like I have, if you guys have been farming out units like I have, prime battle, story events, you name it, this is definitely going to be worth your while, because now with this option, instead of clicking OK, going back to the menu, navigating back to the story event or whatever event you're doing, then picking up your new level, now you can push a button on the left that will simply just set everything up for you, and all you got to do is simply confirm your team and your friend units and whatever else you have here at your battle preview screen. This is a huge update because this basically cuts the corner for what is seemingly a pretty obtuse corner. Like, you have to turn really far to come on back. This speeds that up tenfold, and this is definitely going to be very useful. I think there's one more step that should be done at some point in the future, and that is to allow for a full auto renewal setup if you choose to. Kind of like in Grand Cross, kind of like in other games where you're auto farming in a stage over and over. They should allow you to be able to do that, but in order to do that, first they would have to figure out the friend system. The friend system is still very much flawed, and even here, this doesn't solve it. All this does is that you'll just have to pick your friend unit specifically as you want, sooner rather than later. Then again, you know, if you don't really care about their recommended friend unit, it's not a problem, but this is actually a problem that I'm dealing with right now. As we speak, literally as I'm recording this, I am dealing with this problem on my global world tournament, and I think some of you JP players also had a similar situation when you had your first world tournament post version Z update. With the version Z update, it auto generates the recommended friend unit, and so after a little while, you sort of get used to jumping that step of actually having to manually choose a friend unit. And that sort of mentality has now become hardwired in my brain as I've been link leveling like crazy, right? So now, every single time I start an event or I'm about to start an event, I have to backtrack, click on this orange button right here to change the friend unit to a unit that is actually relevant for my World Tournament grind. Because, for those of you who are hardcore and care, Broly is the #1 unit you should be using as your friend unit, but it's never being offered as a recommended option for me. So I have to go in and pick it. It's very, very annoying. Basically, the next step to the friend system update should be to simply mirror the unit, or it should allow you to just set a preference for what type of a friend unit you want to generate. Whether or not it's optimal for your team, they should allow you to do that. And I think once they do that, they will actually be able to implement some sort of a fully automated renewal system where you can run through a stage over and over and over without actually having to manually set it up. And then you could truly put your phone down or your device down, go do something else while it farms out those resources for you. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with that. But this is the auto renewal, or the semi-auto renewal. And the last thing that they're adding is the searching for categories. So this is a big one. A lot of people have been having a lot of trouble finding those categories, but I do have some unfortunate news for you JP players. You will have to type in, apparently, you'll have to type in the exact kanji to find it. So if you don't have a JP keyboard on your device, or you don't know what the heck you're trying to spell out, well, tough luck. That's part of it. So another advantage why global is better, because global, you don't have to worry about that stuff because everything is in a language that you do understand and can read and write in. So that's a global W. Either way, both versions will be getting this. Both versions will soon be able to navigate through the category list without much worry or hassle. So there you have it, folks. Those are the 4 key components for Phase 2 of the version Z update. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Which one do you like the most? Which one do you like the least? And what else is new? Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments which one of those updates is your favorite. What rank are you in the World Tournament if you are participating? And if you guys happen to check out my community page, have you been able to figure out who I am on the World Tournament top rank list? I change my name every day, post a little clue on the community page for a little mini game that we like to play on the channel. So let me know if you guys have figured that out too in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.